Yu Jizao has been virtuous for a lifetime and forbearing for a lifetime, but with getting older, she becomes old and proud. Her bad temper is foolish day by day. Lao Tie turned the other way around. He was so irritable and domineering. He had just reached his age and was quiet and lost his temper. Lao Tie said to Yu Jizao at every turn, "Girl, stay for a few more years and die later. You get it all back in your life." Yu Jizao is a 61-year-old woman laying on the bed. When she was young, when she was still pretty, Lao Tie called her old lady harshly. At this age, Lao Tie changed his words and in turn called his old woman a girl, a bit old and rude, and it sounded embarrassing. But embarrassment is sometimes useful, and Yu Jizao is laying on the bed, lost the depth in her heart like a girl. Lao Tie and Yu Jizao were both professors in the university and belonged to senior intellectuals. Of course, they retired. To talk about their successes and achievements in their lifetime, nothing can be said about them except to use empty words like peaches and plums are all over the world. However, there is one thing to be proud of, and that is their 3 children. All of them fighting spirit, are masters of reading and taking exams. Who was supposed to be a dragon became a dragon easily, and who was supposed to be a phoenix became a phoenix easily, and all flew. The oldest son is in San Francisco, the second son is in Vancouver, and the youngest is a baby girl. She is in Munich at this moment. Speaking of this baby sweetheart, it can be said that growing in Yu Jizao's mouth, this girl has an excellent brain and appearance. Rare. Yu Jizao intently let her follow her surname, Yu. Professor Yu wanted to keep this little padded jacket in Nanjing and defend herself. However, such a little jacket has no surname Yu anymore. It has been friends since 6 years ago. After retirement, Lao Tie and Yu Jizao have been living in the university, the city center, on the 5th floor, which is very convenient in all aspects. Lao Tie is 7 years older than Yu Jizao and has been waiting for Yu Jizao to retire. The old man had already spoken. After he's free, the old couple will walk around the campus without doing anything. If they are bored, walk on the earth. Lao Tie is great. He is full of confidence, and his majestic thoughts can be expressed in a very homely tone. Walking on the earth. How spectacular and calm. This is what makes the old man talk crazily. However, God failed them. Yu Jizao fell over. Her legs and feet are fine, but can't stand up anymore. Lao Tie's gray hair became snow white as soon as he came out of the hospital, and he was 10 years older, and he never mentioned the earth anymore. He made a firm decision to change the house. Lao Tie wants to change his house mainly for his girl. The girl can't stand up anymore, laying on the bed. But her heart is wild and refuses to stay upstairs all day long, clamoring to go to the earth. After all, it was the 5th floor. It was not easy for Lao Tie to be his age. If you slow down for a while, she closes her eyes, pounds the edge of the bed, loses her temper, and sometimes curses. Therefore, most of the time, teachers and students all over the campus can see Professor Tie with his snow-white hair pushing the wheelchair with a smile, looking around for fun. The winter of this year has been very rainy and snowy, and Lao Tie's joints were not good, so it was inconvenient. Yu Jizao was so anxious that she lay in bed during the day and slept too much. She couldn't sleep at night. Her temper came up again, and she was tossing at 1 o'clock in the morning. Lao Tie only laughed and said, "How can it be done?" Yu Jizao's wish was unfulfilled, so she began to call the three children by their names, rotating. Lao Tie knew that the old woman was thinking of the children. Lao Tie is Lao Tie after all, a romantic person in his bones, and there is always something surprisingly successful. He bought 4 quartz clocks, set the time to Beijing, San Francisco, Vancouver, and Munich, and hang them on the wall in geographic order. The small bedroom looks like a hotel lobby. But this is even worse. In the dark night, Yu Jizao stared at the clocks, always saying, "Have lunch, get off work, have lunch again." She was certainly not talking about herself, but the children in time differences. Lao Tie sometimes thinks, "This girl, don't look at her slumped on the bed. Her heart of immortality is globalized." This is definitely not a good thing. Taking advantage of the Spring Festival, Lao Tie picked up the cordless phone and dialed Munich, San Francisco, and Vancouver. Standing on the balcony, Lao Tie akimbo solemnly announced to the world in a loud voice, "You'll come back, buy a house for your mother."